Iteration is not just trying again, it's guided improvement. You name what you're trying to improve, you use a clear standard to judge it, and you stop when it meets the goal. Over-reliance starts when you keep prompting without a plan. At that point, the tool starts steering, and you end up following whatever sounds good instead of working toward what you actually need. Fluent output means it sounds smooth and confident. That's not the same as correct, complete, or appropriate. Now, the key distinction. Iteration is when you change something specific, then recheck it against your standard. Cycling is when you keep making tiny tweaks, but the same problems stay. You're spending effort, but the work is not improving in a meaningful way. Iteration has diminishing returns because the tool can keep increasing fluency even when it cannot fix the real problem. Once your task needs judgment, evidence, or a decision about what matters, repeated retries often only improve the surface. The output gets smoother, but the reasoning does not get stronger. The tone improves, but the evidence is still missing. The paragraph gets longer, but the core claim is still wrong. That's not a reason to declare AI as bad. It's a signal you've reached the edge of what this kind of help can do for this task. When you see that pattern, stop retrying and do something different. Reframe the task, add missing constraints, or do the human work the tool cannot do for you. Overuse is about frequency. You use AI a lot. Overreliance is about ownership. You stop thinking first. The tool becomes the default starting point, and your judgment shows up late. Watch for the warning signs. If you start with AI every time, if you accept something mainly because it sounds fluent, or if you cannot explain your choices, you're drifting into overreliance. A simple counter move is to write a 2-sentence plan first, what you're doing, and what good looks like, and then use AI to support that plan. Here's why overreliance matters. Cognitive offloading is when the tool becomes your default brain. Over time, that can lead to deskilling. You stop noticing weak logic. You can't explain why you chose what you chose. You start feeling less confident working without the tool. Protect the skill you are building. Put your thinking on the page first, even briefly, and then iterate. That keeps you in control of the work instead of outsourcing the hardest part, your judgment. Here's a stopping rule you can use immediately. Before you retry, ask 3 questions. What exactly needs improvement? What standard are you using? And what will you do if it misses again? By standard, I mean your criteria for success, accuracy, required evidence, tone for the audience, length, whatever matters for this task. If you cannot answer those questions, stop and reframe. That's not quitting, that's control. Stopping is a skill because it keeps you from sliding into overreliance and it pushes you back into purposeful work.